Greetings, it's your minister Maricus here with another Bible recap video. Today we're going to look at lessons from the Kings. First and Second Kings was what we want to look at today, and I'm going to in the Hebrew Bible, it was actually the Book of the Kings. They were combined. In our English Bibles, we know that they are have been divided or separated. But as we look at First and Second Kings, we see that in First Kings, Solomon or David is getting ready to transition. He's getting ready to transition, and he wants Solomon to be a man and to lead the children of God, to walk in the way of God, to follow God's commandments, and it's a good example for fathers. David gives in preparing your sons not only to be successful in the world, but preparing them to be successful in the kingdom, preparing them to be God-fearing, preparing them to love God above all things and above anyone else. David is not only concerned with generational wealth, but he's concerned with generational faith. And for the men who are listening who have children, both you and I are concerned need to be not only generational wealth, but generational faith. How are we instructing, encouraging, building up our children, our sons, to lead their families in the way of God, to lead their families in the way of the Lord? So David is preparing Solomon as David's getting ready to go the way of all the earth. He knows his time of departure is at hand, and he's setting things in order. He is getting his house in order and preparing Solomon for the reign. So Solomon, he is getting ready to take on the reign of his father, and one of the things I love about Solomon is his prayer to God. First Kings, chapter 3, I believe Solomon, he goes to God and he says, "Lord, I'm a young man. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to lead your people, God. I need wisdom. Give me wisdom to lead your people in your way, in your will, in your word. I cannot do it without you, God. It's too great a people," Solomon says. And as a minister of the gospel, I understand wholeheartedly, and I pray Solomon's prayer almost daily. God, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm young. I don't know how to do it, God, but you do. And these are your people. Lead your people. Use me, God, how you would want to use me to lead your people in your way, in your will, and in your word. And God rewards that. He rewards the humility. He rewards the sincerity of Solomon's heart. He says that because you didn't ask for riches or fame or honor, he says, I'm going to give you wisdom, but I'm also going to give you the things you didn't ask for. What a mighty good God we serve, that sometimes when we are sincere, humble, and we ask for those things that are godly, God will bless us with things we didn't even ask for. And because we serve such a mighty good God. So God blesses Solomon with those things, and we see as we continue to trust through King Solomon, there's not been a king like him since ever, right? That there's not been a king like him on the face of the earth. He had military, he had land, he had the crops, he had money, he built the temple, he had all of these things that a man would desire. He had peace. From all nations on every side. There was no war. Solomon started off great. He started off his race running great. But then we see as we continue to go through First Kings, unfortunately, we see what happens when wealth and fame and success gets to your head and enters your heart. Because when that happens, we turn away from God. And Solomon's fame, his wealth, and all the things he had caused him to do some things that were not pleasing to God. One of those things was to get in multiple relationships with women, over 700 concubines and wives, and all of that nature. And those wives were not of Israel. They were not Hebrew women. They were not serving the one and only God, the true God of heaven and earth. And because of that, Solomon was led astray. He allowed their beliefs and their customs to enter into his heart and turn away from God, and because of that, his ministry had come to an end. His kingship had come to an end because he had strayed away from the Lord. So that's a lesson for us to not allow the things of this world to consume us, to cause us to turn away from God. So Solomon turns away, and eventually he goes the way of all the earth as everyone else. And after Solomon dies, his son Rehoboam becomes king in northern Israel. And the kingdom is then split and divided in 1 Kings. I believe after chapter 11, the kingdom is now split and divided into northern Israel and southern Israel. So now you have Israel, you have Ephraim is considered the northern part, and then you have the southern part, which is Judah, which is the kingdom or dynasty which Jesus Christ would come from. He's from the line and tribe of Judah. However, as we go through the kings, we see the division of the kingdom, and then wars start breaking out within the divisions of the kingdom, and each kingdom gets different kings, and many of those kings were not honoring God. Many of those kings had turned away from God and built idol gods, served idol gods. Many of those kings had tore down the temple of God and the worship places of God, and they built these high places and different things where they were honoring idol gods. And it was a very, very tough time, very tough season of Israel's journey because they were being led by men who were not allowing God to lead them. And that's a message for us. That's a dangerous place to be at a church or a congregation where you are being led by men who aren't allowing God to lead them. And that's what we see throughout the history of the kings. Now, in the midst of that, there were some godly men. God always has a remnant, and there were some godly men, young men, even to be exact. I believe in 1 Kings chapter 22, there's a young man by the name of Josiah. Josiah was a young man who became king at 8 years old, and he had led a reform. He tore down high places. He instituted the places of worship to worship the one and only true God. He instituted many of the ritual practices. He instituted the ceremonies. He reinstituted worship services and honoring God. All of those things, and that was a blessing for that time. And many other kings, King Hezekiah, and others in the history of the kings who were trying to restore the children of God back to God. So we thank God for those men, and even today we thank God for godly men who allows God to lead them as they lead the children of God. So, but really, in all of this, in 1st and 2nd Kings, we see that Israel, they were searching for something that they didn't realize they already had. And what is that? That was that God was their king. We see that in 1 Samuel, that they're asking for a king because they want to be like other nations. But what they didn't realize was that they had a king. The King of Kings, the Lord of Lords was their king. And because they could not necessarily see him or touch him or feel him, they thought that they were missing something. They thought they were missing out. They thought that they were lacking in some area because these other nations had these man-made, stone-built idols that they worship, but not realizing, Israel didn't realize that the idols that they were worshiping, the stones that they were crafting, was made by the God of Israel. All right, and those stones have no power. Those stones, those images, those calves, and all those things that they would do had no power. They were not God. But we, the children of God, Israel, they had the true God, the God who created the heavens and the earth, and He was their king. But God allowed them to go through those seasons to see and to recognize that those earthly kings, those men, do not compare to the King of all kings and the Lord of lords. And the message goes for us as well, even today, that God is our King. We should always seek out God for any decision. As the proverbial writer said, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not to our own understanding, but in all of thy ways acknowledge Him, God, and He will direct your paths. He will order your steps. So if you're here and you're listening today, don't let us not be like Israel, seeking for princes and men and things of the earth. But let us seek the one and only true God, for that's where our trust is. We don't trust in chariots, as the psalmist would say. We don't trust in horses. We don't trust in princes, but we trust in the Lord our God, the creator of the heavens and the earth. So, beloved, I pray that you have enjoyed the book of 1st and 2nd Kings and have gleaned from it and learned different things throughout those two books. It's been a blessing, and it's always good to refresh yourself. Many of us have probably read it time and time again, but God's word is timeless, and God's word is living and active, that even things you've read 1,000 times, that 1,001 time you read it, God will bless your life. He will give something that you didn't have before. So continue reading, continue journeying, continue studying, continue asking questions and praying and asking for discernment and wisdom in God's word. So thank you all for this time. I pray there's been a blessing to you as we looked at 1st and 2nd Kings today, and look forward to the next time we're together. Until then, may God bless you, and may God forever keep you. Take care.